Hello everybody, welcome back to Suzerian. So last time we decided on an infrastructure project of increasing the railway network in our country, which might mean that this is where the railway is right now, I'm not too sure. Invest in Arcasian company stocks. The personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Manager, an experienced stockbroker in Veteran City. Arcasia is selling valuable shares of the Armenian Industries, an upcoming electric manufacturing company. We could invest or let the opportunity pass. You know, let's buy 1,000 shares. We've spent half our wealth on that because we only had 2 to begin with. And now what is next here? The reception at the inaugural ball. So this is basically about as far as I got when I was testing the game. I just finished buttoning up my shoe jacket when the doorbell rang. The President of the Guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade-old tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. As for tonight, there would be no turning back. Suddenly, Dina hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elegant braid, woven through with ribbons. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Tell your mother I will be ready very soon. Okay, Papa. I can't wait to see the palace. Are we not living in the palace yet? Or maybe we're moving into the palace tonight. I don't know. It was almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. In less than an hour? We're only just getting ready now? That seems like maybe you would want to get that done a little bit earlier, but okay. Now, where is my first lady? Monica comes down the stairs. She seems very upset with me, but that's okay. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige Seath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into a shagun, showing off the pearl earrings I'd given her for our 15th anniversary. All those years she had stayed by my side. Now we're about to begin the most challenging chapter of our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? I'll kiss her hand. She extended her gloved hand, and I raised it to my lips. Monica, my love, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. Now there's a charm that got you elected. Frank trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. God damn it, Frank. It's always like this is Frank, isn't it? Frank tugged at his collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. I'm glad to have you with us for the big night. Sure, Dad, I'm just dying to go. Look, cut this shit, Frank, okay? Papa, are the people going to be around us from now on? She pointed to the President of the Guards at the door of the house. These people are, yeah, you know what? Don't think of them as friends because they might try to coup us in the future. If there's a coup, we don't want her running towards the guards that might shoot her. I don't know. Yeah, Sordland's most important family needs extra protection. It's all right, baby. They're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Monica held Dina's hands together, flanked by the guards. We walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Could I stay at home instead? Look, Frank, on a personal level, I relate to you a lot right now. Going to family events sucks ass. But I'm the president. You have no choice in the matter, okay? You have to come. You know what? I'm nervous. Let's try to reassure him. I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident in my son by my side. Frank smiled reluctantly. Well, if you put it like that, sure. Let's go. President of the Guard showed us the way to the red and blue lights, flashed around us. Sergey, my driver, ushered us into our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window deep in thought. Anton, what are you thinking about? Not the first option. That seems bad. I think we've come a long way together, haven't we? Yes, we have, but there's still so much that we've accomplished side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be here for you. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Frank rolled his eyes. I know you will, honey. This means a great deal to me. After what seemed like just a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Sergey rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. Here we are, sir. I hope you enjoyed the drive. Much appreciated. How are you today, Sergey? I'm just as good as I can be. But today is your day, sure. I'm glad you're in charge now. You know, my entire family voted for you. I won't let your family down, Sergei. I don't doubt that, sir. You're the one who sparked a glimmer of hope in us all. Sergei opened the door for me. A normally imposing palace was festooned with garnished banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of Sordland's elite, streamed inside the building. Good luck out there, Mr. President. I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. Who are you? No code. We don't. You're a mystery. No codex available yet. Interesting. My guards fended most of them off, but one woman managed to dodge them and cornered me. I recognized the Swords Broadcasting Corporation logo on her press lanyard. Mr. President, do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on expecting constitutional reforms? How do you answer this? I'm leaning. It's not question. Not 2. Not 3 either. I'm kind of leaning more towards 1. But it's one of those like politician answers. Like, this doesn't really mean anything, right? You know what? We're gonna work with everybody. Mr. Victor clarified that as long as you hold your promises of democratization, they'll support you on these issues in the end. What do you think about this statement? You are the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, so I think you're like the leader of the reformers, right? But look at political overview. Factions. Yeah, you're the lead figure in the Reformist Party. Wait, can I actually? Oh, you can minimize this. Okay, that's good for future use. You know what? I have not seen a statement yet. I can't comment as I haven't seen a statement yet. One more question. One of your first acts, President, was to veto a campaign finance plan that would deprive small parties of public funds while increasing those channeled to your own. Are we seeing the beginning of a more egalitarian administration? Yes, no political party deserves to be silenced. That's enough, ma'am, said one of the guards while nudging the reporter away from me. The path towards the crowd is now open, and we've quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons of Sordland's colors of white, yellow, and maroon. The lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. As we entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the bellroom behind me, I heard a familiar voice. There you are! The most beautiful family in Sordland. Uncle Peter! Hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you. You two are growing faster than I am getting wiser. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm still sticking with you. Fucking got him. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn, Peter's wife, Evelyn, approached us and shook her hands with a firmness that believes her delicate features. So you are the second lady. You're the wife of Peter. Evelyn, congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. We know you did. You deserve the position. And tonight, we reap the rewards. We can start by getting a few drinks. You read my mind. Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The 4 of us each took a glass of champagne. Monica, how are you? You barely said a word. I'm more than relieved to have this roller coaster ride over with, but of course, now the real work begins. Ah, yes. Managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon, to look your best before our dignitaries. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Sordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue. Wouldn't you say, Anton? As long as you don't burn the rose. Am I right, Peter? Up to a point, yes. Absolutely, we'll work together to achieve that. Monica flashed a smile. Dina suddenly jumped between us and tugged my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. Of course, darling. Let's move to the ballroom. We left the lobby and made our way towards the ballroom. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd, but this time it was the politicians who sought to appease a new authority in Sordland. I spent the next few hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at the dinner table with the veterans as the band started playing some slow jazz tunes. Oof, that was tiring. Well, you're already tired. Well, suddenly a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom, then another one and another. The musicians stopped playing and everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realizing dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks? No, gunshots. It's day one, we're getting shot at? As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Shield Monica and the kids. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. We never should have gone. Shut up, Frank. Chaos broke out as some of the guests flung themselves under the tables and ran towards the door, screaming. Dina burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Mr. President, are you alright? You were the chief of police? Carl Greiser, head of the Sordland police force, was running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as he made it towards us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Thank God. I want a status report. 1 second, Mr. President. He turned around quickly to his men. Check the perimeter now. Paul, Jansen, follow my lead. We will bring them to a safe room. We turned to Monica, Evelyn, and the children and spoke in a softer voice. Don't worry, the situation now under control. Please follow me. We probably followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. His men had their guns drawn, which did nothing to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. Shh, not now, Peter. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round the corner. Quiet, please. I'm sorry. I talk when I get nervous. Peter, shut up. Carl flipped the switch of the light and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on, and the safe room was comfortable and spacious with expensive-looking leather sofas. Most security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was a boardroom and pantry containing enough provisions to last us months, and Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. So what's the status? Carl's radio started clacking out to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Good news! We're on any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with, and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. If I may, sir. He gestured towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We have confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The gunman is one of them, and we are sure he was working. And we are sure that he was working alone. The attacker fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head and 2 to the body, instantly killing him. The President's guard at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. The gunman was not identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP who killed was identified as Bernard Circus. Did we not? I think we already heard about you, right? Like, I remember reading this description at some point. Unless it was actually between videos. I'm not too sure. Bernard Circus was Sordland's poet, novelist, and short story writer and politician. Okay. He earned him the description of a romantic communist. He joined the Red Youth during the Sword Civil War and fled Sordland after the war's over. He moved to United Cortona and studied sociology in the Communist University of Kau. There, he's influenced by the artistic experiments of Canadian poets who advocated futurism as well as ideological version of Malinism. He organized strikes against the Sordland government's failures to include embassy laws and started becoming a popular figure in Sordland politics. He ran as an independent in 1953 general elections and became the first communist to be elected to the General Assembly of Sordland. So, this is huge, Anton. This is going to cause a lot of problems. Peter pulled 2 cigarettes and handed me 1, and then he turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was still trying to tend to Dina as Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed home. I'll come for Monica and the kids. We're safe and I'll make sure everything's alright. Monica, we can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe. Well, if he was shooting this dude, I don't think we're at major risk because, you know, he's not ideologically aligned with my character right now. I lit a cigarette. Okay. I crushed a cigarette in the ashtray. So, I mean, fantastic. Great. Everyone in the country just upset. Okay, subject security increased. Security measures in the capital have been heightened. After the murder of Bernard, the mayor of Sordland reports everything's under control. What else are people saying? Public opinion report. What are the people saying? People's views on the need of democratic reform the government's structure has changed over the last decade. 55% of the population support the reformist ideas. Logistical issues. Party committee report. The Reform Committee reports that any changes to the Constitution and direction of reforms will likely lead to a strong opposition from the National Front Party. Okay, and there's unemployment over in that city over there. Okay, let's go to the Situation Room. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. So who do we got? We got Minister of the Interior, Minister of Justice, the Vice President, Minister of Defense. Who hired this dude to be Minister of Defense? That's my question. Cabinet members have gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Lilith presents the initial report. Bernard Circus was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was elected an independent member of the assembly and, as you know, a famous communist. She spat the last word out with some distaste. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as a member of the nationalist organization, the Young Swords. The president's family were unharmed, praise God. An MP was shot near the palace. This is absolutely unacceptable. I agree. We're reevaluating our security measures. However, the recession has affected my ministry negatively. This sets a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence in the 1920s might spark again once more. Our return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason our country stagnated for a decade. The Minister of Justice sighed. The Red Youth have condemned the killing, but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. This will in turn spark further aggression from the Young Swords, and a whole cycle because of Bernard Circus expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Neil had already been one of the only members of the minister. I'm going to restart that. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Freedom of expression is part of our constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. I agree. We should protect their freedom of speech. Our laws do, and for a good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before and know very well how it was. I hear your concerns. Our police will do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens, and we will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are reevaluated. Minister of Defense Isiv Lassa grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in his full military uniform. He has many war medals conspicuously on display. Agreed, ma'am. Our Jeremond, this word, okay, people were saying in, I think the Ottoman campaign that I was pronouncing this word wrong. Our gendarmerie, I don't know how you say it, probably just like a pronunciation, will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start, only add fuel to the fire. It's early, but will we attend the funeral? In my opinion, we should. The nuance here is detached from a person from a violent act. How can this be achieved when Bernard Circus, we were talking about, he is the communist of Sordland? It is difficult, but the elected official has been shot. This is unacceptable for a new administration. We need to make sure that we show our stance by condemning it in the funeral. Several police cars rushed past Room Palace and everyone fell silent. Regardless, a full investigation of all parties is underway. You'll find the subversives and punish them for soon enough, Mr. President. I'll do my best to help coordinate the administrative task. Justice will be served, and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country, we must think about the upcoming budget. Susan jumps to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. Agreed. We need to be patient until we have a full picture. Lucian took some notes after checking the latest newspaper reports. It seems that the tension between the communists and the nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is chaos in the country. We will make it through this and deliver our presidents. Hell yes, Mr. President Rayne. This will be it for today then. We will convene again soon. Thank you all, and keep us updated. The meeting concluded, and the ministers left the room in concerned looks. It was hard to anticipate what would happen next. So code of entry has been annexed for the man who was shot. I'm not too sure. I mean, I could probably, like, look back. So it was you. So I'm guessing it probably says in the bottom, like, he was assassinated. He was shot when Rayne... Yeah, okay. He was shot when leaving the inauguration. Okay. So this does get updated, so that's good to know. I'm really not too sure what our next... Yeah, you're just reading reports. Your more reports. Your more reports. Where's the next exclamation point? I actually don't... Oh, there's a continue button. Proceed to the next turn. There we go. A few days later. I don't know how long it stays on the screen for. Oh! Okay, loading. Fantastic. And for a second I thought that it had actually crashed. And here we go. On the beginning of turn 2, and I think with that, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Anthnwam. If you've enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click thumbs down. You want to subscribe, and goodbye.